All right, so when you get your fabric off of the bolt, you'll have your selvages over here and the fold over here, okay? Because our fabric is non-directional, it doesn't matter if I have my pattern piece this way, that it's upside down, our stars are gonna look the same no matter what, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my fabric. So now I have a selvage on each end, selvage on the right and left. I'm gonna fold my pattern, or my fabric, in half towards the cut ends. Then I can take my pattern piece. And I can lay it out. I'm gonna get as close to the cut edge as I can. And I also need to get it on the side as close to the selvage as I can without having any of the pattern hang over, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is when I'm cutting, I'm gonna cut through both layers. And as I do that, I'm cutting a pattern piece and the mirror image of the other one. So I'm able to cut out both pieces at one time. It just saves us a little time. So I have my piece laid out. Now I have my little extender piece, okay? So I'm gonna take it and I am going to extend it. I'm making mine as long as I possibly can with the amount of fabric that I have. So we are gonna be a little bit limited because I just bought, I think, 1.5 yards of each of your fabrics. This is just a scrap I had at home that I'm making mine out of. So your pieces actually are probably a little longer, okay? I'm just a little limited, okay? So see, here's how my pattern originally went. I just have to slide it down. And I'm making sure that the edges and that my grain line is in line, okay? All right, what you need to do next is you're gonna need to use your ruler and measure from the selvage to the grain line. And what I'm looking for here is the same number all the way up the arrow. Your number can be different. So I'm telling you right now, the number for mine is 10.5. Your number might be something completely different. If you have your pattern piece shifted over further, then your number might be 15 inches or 17 inches. As long as my number down at the bottom of the grain line arrow is the same as the top, then I'm fine. Okay, so I'm gonna measure from here, from the selvage over to the grain line. That was 10 inches. Now that's like 10.25, so I need to pull that pattern piece this way just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm just kind of shifting it around so that from my selvage over, it's going to be parallel. Okay, so mine ended up being about 10.25 the whole entire way. I'm at 10.5 there, so I need to shift it back. Okay, so do you guys see what I'm doing here? Measuring from the selvage to the line, selvage to the line. That number needs to be equal. Once I have it where it is right now, I'm gonna just lay some pattern weights down real quick because my pins are not close enough. But we wanna make sure that our fabric does not shift around on us. Okay, so I'm gonna lay those weights down. You're gonna take your pins, and when you are laying out a pattern, you're going to pin to cut. So I'm gonna take my pin and it's gonna go parallel to the edge. I'm going through the layers of the fabric and the pattern. But I'm parallel to the edge so that when I go in with my shears, I don't have to bump into the pins. If you tried to pin where your pin heads are like this, when I'm cutting, I'm gonna have to go around that pin. I don't want that, so we want them to be, okay, parallel to the edge, okay? So that's all we're gonna do for this step. We're gonna get our piece laid out and pinned down. And then I'll call you back up to show you what to do after that.